She's more of a
Okay.
strong silent type, so I'm not
back.
sure she even say anything.
Ran for the door.
Was it the Jehovah's Witness?
No, it was just a local salesman kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
We had the
So,
Jehovah's
yes.
Witness come here by on 4th of July.
Yeah, so I ran downstairs like with my shirt to shop and said, we're in the middle of something. Can I help you? And they're like, no, sorry.
Okay, so yeah, so you guys are Bajo's kind of ready to get down to business.
So Bazza, what seems to be the trouble?
Yes.
And he kind of looks up at you. He says, "Right, well, I'm sure you know about the chaos that's going on here. Fucking red sashes, the crows, everything's just all kind of trails off. Like you can tell that he's just pissed off about everything going on in Crow's Foot right now.
It seems like trouble's brewing.
He's like, don't think it's brewing anymore, mate. Seems to be boiling over. And just seeing who's my friends, who's my enemies, if you take my meaning."
You can always count on me.
He's like, "Yeah, I can count on you." And you can kind of see his eyes drift around to see, to kind of like gauge the rest of you to see how you're reacting to this.
Just staring him down, just waiting. Totally uninterested until he tells us what we're doing. Like, it is obviously uninterested.
Okay, I'm just trying to. Oh, you guys keep typing shit, and I can't read all of it at once.
It's just flavor text.
Poor Sean. Gonna drive him to drink.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just thinking. Because you guys didn't choose a crew, so now I have to choose one that makes sense for you. You
We
definitely.
chose one while you were gone.
What's
well,
that?
not a type. We chose a name while you were gone.
What's the name?
So, the Mighty Ducks.
No. This is why
Well,
I'm not running one shots for you guys anymore. You don't.
Because
even
Monica
have
and
the
Jimmy
Bash
are the Bash Brothers.
Yeah.
You guys are the worst. Just the worst.
Oh, you love us.
We went from a porn comic to a really shitty movie.
I still think it's funny that we both decided to go for the big burly types instead of the finessey ones.
Right now, I'm like the willowy, like, I was gonna do the sharpshooter thing. I'm like, but that's what I'm doing as Beth. So I want to do
So-
something like beat 'em up.
I like it.
I don't want to run the same thing I ran last time, but it makes the most sense for your crew.
It's okay. We'll throw you enough curveballs that you'll have to adjust it anyway.
Mm,
Poor Sean. We make his life so complicated.
yeah, you know what? We're gonna do something different because I feel like it. So yeah, Edlin Bajo kind of looks at you pretty seriously and he says, "Well, I need you to hit him with it hurts. I've come to understand that the Red Sashes are funneling money into the consulate, or from the consulate. Probably both ways, the fucking bastards." Said, there's a contact at the Aruvan consulate. They've been, I guess, shipping money to keep the Red Sashes going, and we hit him there. Puts us a leg up, you know what I mean?
Think I do.
There's a contact there. Friend of Mylara's. And Mylara is the leader of, I want to say, let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure she's the leader of the Red Sashes. Yep, Mylara Clev is the leader. I will put that in chat for you. So what he tells you basically is one of Mylara's contacts at the consulate is funneling her money, which is kind of keeping the Red Sashes afloat during the war. So if you can if you can hit the consulate and maybe take out the contact, and it would shut down the flow of money to the Red Sashes. And Bajo says, I'm sure you know where the consulate is. Well guarded. Fucking prim proper Eruvian bastard. And like as he's saying it, he's like looking around to just double check to make sure any of you look Eruvian, and none of you do. So he kind of smiles. He said, "Don't think you guys are gonna have a problem with this job, do you?"
Nah.
Dead or teach him a lesson. That's all we need to know.
All right, well, he said, "I'm sure they've got some money there you can take, and it'll put us on good terms." He said, "Finish your job and get back to me when you're done." And he kind of like cheers you, and none of you have glasses. He kind of raises his glass to all of you. Kind of like leans back in his chair.
What are you drinking?
Am I close enough to take his glass?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be that close, yeah, you can kind of reach over.
I mean, I did type in that I was sitting on the edge of.
Well, I can't
Reach over
read
and
all
take his
that as I'm
glass.
doing everything else. Sorry.
So yeah, she's gonna reach over and take his glass,
Okay.
take a swig, and give it back to him.
Yeah, he kind of like he toys with you a little bit as you reach for the glass. He puts it on in his fairly large hand, and he's like palming the bottom of it. So you're trying to pull it away from him, and he kind of smiles at you, and like releases it so it kind of pulls up at you. You kind of take a swig. This is exceptionally fine whiskey.
Nice.
Like unusually good, especially for crow's foot. And he kind of like reaches up to take the glass back from you and smiles at you. He said, "There's more for where that came from. You get back." Kind of winks at you.
Well, I'll definitely have to be back if I'm getting some of that.
Yeah. He kind of smiles at you. He says, "Well, job's not doing itself."
It is for you.
He kind of smiles and looks at you, and I think Henner kind of responds to you a little bit, Jimmy. Like he starts to shift. Like he looks relaxed against the wall, but his body, you notice his body kind of tenses up a little bit.
Oh yeah, I got you.
And Bajo kind of smiles at you. He said, "That's how it is when you run your own gang, mate."
I wasn't judging, just saying,
Yeah, kind of like raises a glass and looks at you, Edlund, as if to say, like, why are you still in my office?
Yeah, well, all right, we'll get on it.
Okay.
Hey,
Princess,
know what
let's
hit
go.
So yeah, so now
You just call me princess.
Yeah.
I am the White Queen, not a princess.
Ain't queen nothing. Let's go.
Okay. So you guys head out of the office, and yeah, so you have a job now. So at this point, you're going to choose a plan, and each of you will choose a load, and then we will do the engagement roll. So there's a list of plans on your character sheets. It's underneath planning and load. There's assault, occult, deception, social, stealth, and transport. So yeah, you have a job. Just because you're a dirty pervert doesn't mean everything.
What the fuck? So, what are you guys thinking? We're going front door, right? Yeah, let's do this.
No, I don't think we should go in the front door.
We're not playing in this. We're just doing it.
Queenie, any of your customers work at the consulate by chance?
Not the ones that I've been with lately, but I could probably find some. I'm
Yeah.
sure I probably know, like, where I could go to meet some of these people.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing you could do for sure.
Oh, and you guys want this folk dead?
He wants them
Yeah.
dead, yeah?
I'm fairly certain that was the point. I was hoping to find just a window.
He said taken care of. I just had to wonder.
That's generally what they mean when they want things taken care of, and she uses air quotes.
Hard to get away with that.
If they see you do it.
Why do you think we're going and not them?
Well, clearly he doesn't want it connected to him.
Yep. Well, I don't know these people. I don't care about these people. Let's go take care of business.
For
Well.
what it's worth, I'm with Gunny. Find a window. We can fight our way out if necessary.
Will you even fit in a window?
You'd be surprised where I can fit, love.
Might have to take you up on that offer later.
Watch out, they're big hands.
I've had bigger.
You'd know you've had them around your throat often enough.
Ooh.
Not that way, princess.
I am not a princess.
All right. So what's the plan?
Apparently, more people voting stealth. It seems like.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll go with that. Stealth is fine.
Okay. Yeah, you, oh, jeez. Okay. Yeah, you all know that, the Aruvian consulate is, I'm thinking it's, because I don't think I know where that is.
In the Charter Hall district.
No, I'm
Make
thinking
it
it's,
up.
I'm thinking it might be in Silk Shore, because the Aruvian consulate. I mean, they're moneyed and they're not going to be in a place that's just total garbage. Actually, I could probably figure this out. I'm sorry. Give me a second. Yeah, actually, you know what? It would actually be in Charter Hall. You're correct. The city civic offices. So that sounds like where a consulate would be. Yeah. So you're headed to Charter Hall to the consulate. Now Charter Hall is a very nice section of town. I mean, Crow's Foot is a step up from like dirt. Charter Hall is one of the wealthiest and most secure places in the city. So yeah, then there's very little criminal influence in Charter Hall. So yeah. So what's the plan? Like you're going for stealth then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're at the point where we need to make an engagement roll. So what this means is one of you, not all of you, will make. There's the handout I did if you want to look at it for the game structure. But yeah, one of you will make an engagement roll. Basically, what this determines is how the job starts. So what that means is like we're gonna basically cut to wherever you guys are when you're doing the job. And this game functions more on flashbacks than anything else. So if, for example, you encounter a problem on the job, you can initiate a flashback and say like, well, actually, I would have met with this person to try to make this connection to be able to do this thing, and then we will roll for it to see if you were successful in the past. But we're basically right now going to cut to the action. So your plan is stealth. Are you literally looking for a window, like on a second floor or something?
I think that's what they wanted. Yeah, I'm down with that.
Well, the correction that was made by Gunny was that not so much find a window as in to go through it, but to snipe through it.
Distraction and then something else. But
Well,
no, we could
that's-
sneak in easily.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, you can do that, but that's going to require a couple of you being inside to get to the target to the window.
Fair
Well,
enough.
actually, no. You know what? No. I'm sorry. That's not fair of me. What we'll do is we'll make an engagement roll, and the engagement roll will determine how that plan starts. So if you do very well on the engagement roll, then maybe there's a window that you can try to snipe from. That doesn't mean there won't be other complications, but if one of you fucks up the roll, there's definitely not going to be a window that you can snipe into.
So you keep saying engagement roll. Is that based on like the insight, prowess, resolve skills? Like, what is an engagement roll?
An engagement, it's literally built into the game. Each of you, I think, on your character sheet actually have a button that says roll engagement, but don't roll it yet.
I've got roll fortune.
It's a fortune roll.
Yeah,
It is a fortune
it's
roll.
a fortune
Okay.
roll, yeah. And so what happens here? I'm trying to find it in my book, and I physically can't find it, which is pissing me off.
Sorry, I'm just trying to
120
understand
something?
what we're looking at here.
Yep. Hang on. Ow.
Yeah, 128.
Well, yeah, but I'm on the PDF. Is it on 128 in the PDF? No.
I don't know. No, I don't think it is. I had the
It's
book.
probably
so.
close though.
It's not. I have the book with me. It's fine. Oh, so it's the score. Okay.
It's under planning engagement.
Yep, I got it. Well, it's fine. Give me a second. Okay, so you've chosen a stealth approach for the opportunity to snipe this person. So here's how engagement rule works. Once the players choose a plan and provide the detail, the GM cuts to the action, describing the scene as the crew starts. The crew starts the operation and encounters their first obstacle. But how is this established? This is the engagement roll. So the engagement roll is a fortune roll. You start with 1 dice for sheer luck. You can modify this, but you cannot do so with stress. So here, is this operation, and this is a conversation. This is not me just saying like, well, this is the case. Blades is very much a conversation game, so we can talk about this stuff. Is this operation particularly bold or daring? Does anyone want to make an argument for that?
I mean, we're assassinating a official in a faction that's much higher than us. I'd say it's fairly bold.
Yeah.
Yeah,
agree.
we're also
We're
doing it in
a
the
scrappy
consulate
crew.
building.
Yeah, we're taking it to the home turf and a well-guarded facility. It's pretty fucking bold.
Okay. Does the plan's detail expose the vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest? No. Is the target strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses? They're on their home turf.
Yeah.
So I think, and so for the first one, you guys get a die. For the second one, I think you're going to lose a die because they're literally on their home turf. So this place is designed for defense, right? So, I mean, it's a consulate building. So we're back to 1.
Out of curiosity, you said there isn't a lot of crime up here. I'm assuming that's not so much that it just doesn't wander up here. It's because of the defenses.
I mean, it could be a combination of both.
The argument I want to throw out there then is like, are they lax in security because it never comes up here? The crime doesn't cross often enough for them to have this super heavy security.
Well, that's a good point, but I think it's probably more that there's Duskvol would want to defend these people, and they would have, and it's also a thing where maybe the criminals know better than to come here, because
Right.
if the consulates start to fall from the different members of the Imperium, that's going to be all out war, and nobody wants that. So
it's well guarded, but maybe the guards play a lot of cards, or don't always pay it like they're.
It's not even that though. I think it's that like the consulates have their own guards. So like there are bluecoats here, there are inspectors here, of course, because it's part of Duskvol. But I think the consulates have their own. And the thing that your characters would also know is that the Red Sashes are Aruvian in origin. The Red Sashes are called that because they actually have a school of sword fighting, where they all wear red sashes. That's where the name comes from. So in point of fact, like they would have guards there who especially are trained in this form of sword fighting. You can override that, of course, with a sniper rifle. But I think they're going to have some defense of their own at the consulate.
But we're also going for people that aren't. We're not going for like the fucking ambassador here, right? Like we're going for a lower tier person. They didn't quite explain that.
Going for a desk clerk.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a contact. You don't know if it's a desk clerk or not. I mean, it's probably not the ambassador, but all they said was it was Mylaire's contact. I also don't. Well, I don't really know if we want to do that because I don't know if you know who the contact is.
I was about to ask that. Do we?
I thought he would have told us at least the name of people we're gonna kill.
Well, not even that, but through that same bit, Edlin did ask Cassandra if she had any contacts within the consulate that could at least get us the information for that contact.
Well, listen, here's the thing. The next major disadvantage for the fortune roll is, can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? If they can, take 1 die. Are there enemies or rivals interfering in this operation? Lose a die.
So I'd say yes, then no.
Well, I mean, sorry, fly just landed on my headset. Are your friends? Do your friends have information?
I probably could get some.
I mean, that's more up to you. And we'll probably have to roll to see if that's something that, we can make a fortune roll to see if your friends have any information. And you'll have to roll to probably consort with those people or sway them or however you choose to do it. But this is basically, gathering information before the job.
I mean, I do know an inspector. He might know something about the consulate.
Yeah, right. But again, like there will be a role for it.
Mm-hmm.
So do you want her to roll?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk to your inspector friend,
all right.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna roll. How are you trying to get the information out of him? Like what
action? How do you
action?
think she's gonna get the information out of him?
What's that?
How do you think she's gonna get the information out of him?
Well, this isn't so much like I know she's doing it through sex. But what I'm saying is you could use command if you're just saying, hey, tell me what I want to know. Consort, which is probably what you're doing, and then there's sway.
Yeah.
So you have 3 options there. So you have to tell me.
Yeah, I'll probably just use consort because I have a better chance of using that than sway.
Okay. Yeah. So you're gonna consort your investigator friend. So yeah, you're gonna roll consort, and now here we're gonna get into some more game mechanics. So when you make this roll, I'm gonna pull up your character sheet here so I can see it. So you have 2 dice in consort.
Okay.
You can give yourself additional dice. One of the ways that you can there's 2 ways to get additional dice. A friend of yours can help you. They take a stress and you get an additional die. I don't really see fictionally how any of your friends is helping you with this. It doesn't seem justified in the fiction. The other thing you can do is you can push yourself. You will take 2 stress for yourself, or I can offer you a devil's bargain. A devil's bargain, and I should have made a little handout for this as well, but a devil's bargain is basically I will offer you, or another player will offer you, a potential consequence to give you that die.
What do you guys think? Should I take a devil's bargain?
Well,
I
so
like the
we can
idea.
offer her a devil's bargain?
Yeah, let me find the page here. No, what it is here. Let me.
I was gonna give an example to see if I understood what the idea was.
Yeah, because devil's bargains are a little weird.
Essentially, I'd say, look, get the information out of him when you sleep with him, or I'm gonna punch his face in until he gives it to us.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not about you doing something. It's about the inspector doing something, or.
Gotcha.
So as a player, we can suggest a devil's bargain,
Correct.
but not as a character.
Right, not as characters.
Okay.
Where the fuck is... Oh, I love the look of this book, but it's laid out kind of poorly.
It reminds me a lot of the Sprawl book.
I quickly told you guys what stress actually is.
Okay.
That would probably be helpful for them to know.
Yeah,
Or-
sorry I'm
no,
asking
it's
so
not-
many
it's-
questions. Just because.
You're talking about trauma. No,
Yeah.
you should be asking questions. Don't. God, I'm such a mess, guys. Everything is
if-
falling apart on my end.
That's
You'll be
trauma's like
fine.
permanent
Damn it.
stress, and if you get too much, you retire because you can't do it anymore.
Are you fucking
That's-
serious? But there is a way to clear stress. It's not just like you
There
accrue
is.
stress and then you're done. Like that's not how it
Yeah.
works.
Trauma stays. Stress you can lower.
Yeah, trauma is bad news bears. But it's actually cool for role playing purposes.
After you filled up your stress, or is it?
Yeah, so you have a
Okay.
pool of 9 stress. If you hit 9, you take a trauma, and you reset your stress. But you probably don't want that to happen. So
Okay,
here's what a devil's bargain. PCs and blades are reckless scoundrels addicted to destructive vices. They don't always act in their own best interest. To reflect this, the GM or other players can offer you a bonus die if you accept a devil's bargain. Common devil's bargain includes collateral damage or unintended harm. You sacrifice coin or an item. You betray a friend or a loved one. You offend or anger a faction. You start and or tick a troublesome clock. We'll talk about clocks in a minute. You add heat to the crew, which is like fallout after the job, like how many people are pissed off at you. Or you suffer harm. So, for example, for trying to, I would offer you a devil's bargain here to try to consort with your inspector friend.
Mhm.
I mean, the devil's bargain here would probably be that he starts to get pissed off that he feels like you're using him. And I would probably create what's called a clock, where if you hit, the number of segments for the clock, there are going to be consequences to you pushing him like this.
Okay.
So, like, the clock might be called, like, alienating the inspector. Because, like, right now, he'll look the other way, but if you keep doing this to him, there's going to be consequences.
I'll take this. I'll take this devil's bargain.
Okay, so you'll get 3 dice. So if you click the thing to consort, just click on the word consort. It'll say
Okay.
extra bonus die. You hit 1, and then
It asks me what position it's in.
It is.
Risky,
It does.
Control,
This-
or desperate.
this is by nature a risky position because you're asking a man of the law to give you information so you can.
But it's a man that I've done this to multiple times, so wouldn't it be
if
more
you
controlled?
see that makes it worse, not better. If you've done this to him a number of times, like, okay, well, why don't we do this? We'll make a fortune roll. Why don't you roll fortune to see how he feels before we make this roll?
All right.
This will impact what the condition or what the starting position will be. So you rolled. So in that case, you take the higher of the dice, but you rolled a 3, which is not good. That's not what you want. So I'm gonna say it's risky. You've done this to him in the past. He's already pissed off. He does not like it when you ask him these questions. So you're already in a risky position.
Okay. Now
And then
it's
the
asking
effect-
standard.
The effect will be.
So reading the fortune, I'm trying to. So she got a 2 and a 3.
Mhm.
0 dice. Take the lowest result from above. Well, I'm not sure how
If-
that reads.
If you have no dice in whatever, like if you try to, let me look at your character sheet. If you have no dots in what you're trying to roll,
You auto take the lowest. Okay.
you roll
okay,
2 dice
got
and
it.
take the. It's like having disadvantage. So like if you
If
tried
it-
to roll hunt with your character, you would roll 2 dice and take the lower.
Okay, and higher is better,
Higher is better.
as always. Okay.
Always one higher.
Cool.
I think the effect here, Cassandra, is probably. I'm tempted to say limited, but I'm going to be nice to you and say standard.
All right.
So you'll roll. You want higher numbers.
And I get 1 bonus die.
Yep.
I get 1 bonus dice, right?
Yes. Okay, so you got a 4. That's your highest. So that's a mixed success. So you get what you want, but some bad shit happens. So describe the scene where you're asking him this.
I guess she's just lounging in bed with him, and she's asking him about the consulate, because maybe she says she's been by there, and I hear so and so works at the consulate. Do you know anything about them?
And he kind of like turns to you, and he's already pissed off. Like you guys just had a nice evening, and now you're starting to ask him about work shit, and he is pissed off. He says,
Come on, baby, don't act like that.
he says, "Yeah, I know a lot of people that work in the consulate. Why do you always do this? What the fuck?" Like, and I think like he starts to roll out of bed, like puts his pants on.
Oh, don't do that, babe. Come back to bed.
He's like, "Listen, you know what? You always just it's bullshit. This is total bullshit." He's like, "Yes, I've seen that person. I understand they work in the consulate. Why? Why?"
Just curious. You don't need to get all. You don't need to get your pants back on. Gee.
He's like, "No, I'm done. I'm not in the mood." And he's like still putting his clothes on. So I am going to. So he'll we're gonna. Oh, I see. We're gonna start a clock. Oh, did they change how clocks work on character sheets?
No, it looks the same.
Not the last time I did it.
Oh, well. It's still
I
easy
only
enough.
see one clock.
Oh, no, he can add them down at the bottom right.
Well, that's the. Oh, there. You're right, Dave. That's okay. Yeah. So I'll add it on your character sheet, Gwen. I'm gonna say that that's 6 segments. I think you've already marked off 2, and we're gonna call this one, like I said. Yep, that's weird. Alienating the inspector. So you're at 2 of 6. So when you hit 6 of 6, bad shit's gonna happen. So if I tell you to like mark a tick on that clock, you should be able to just tick it. But so for the time being,
Right.
so he tells you what you want. He gives you the information you're after. But you're beginning to push him away. So he gets dressed and just like huffs out, and he's just like, whatever, fuck it, and just like leaves.
As soon as she's gone, she just rolls her eyes. Men.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So you got a piece of information. Does anyone else like have anything that they want to like gather information about, or
How do they hire guards?
how are you going to find that out?
I'm actually pretty much going to go. I know a bunch of people that get into scraps and fights and things like that. I'm going to go look around and see if I know anyone who, because I'm assuming some of the, like, it's not illegal what I do, really. I'm sure there's a
What
couple.
part of
yeah,
what you do is
technically.
illegal now? What?
Oh, no. Fighting and stuff like that in a pit? I mean, come on.
Yeah, no, pit fighting's
Look
legal.
the other
Yeah.
way. Yeah, that's fine. I'm sure there's plenty of, burlier guards that maybe know a little information, knows how people get hired as guards at the consulate. Might have to kick a little ass to figure out some information. Make a little wager.
Sure, you can totally do that. Absolutely. So you're going straight to Red Ann's?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you're looking for somebody just generally, or do you have someone specific in mind?
I'm sure that I've fought enough people in here that I've picked out one or two that are probably guards. Maybe one of them actually works there. Who knows?
I think who you know. There's a man named Christoph who. This fucking fly just landed on my screen. You fucking prick. All right. You know a man named Christoph who was a former guard. He was a former bluecoat. He still takes work much like you, but he's still embedded with some of those people, some of the bluecoats, so he has access to more information than maybe others.
Oh, nice.
Christoph is known to have some pretty violent anger problems. He was actually kicked off of the Bluecoats because he couldn't seem to, which is weird because the Bluecoats are known to scoundrels all over Duskvol as the most violent gang in the city. But somehow he was too violent for the Bluecoats.
Sounds like my friend.
Sounds like, yeah, someone you get along with.
Yeah, I'm gonna. He knows has contacts. I'll be like, you do me a favor, or I pay you money. Give you next coin I get.
And so you're offering him either money or a favor?
Oh no, he does a favor for me, or he wins a coin. I mean, an actual coin. The next one I get.
I don't understand why he owes you a favor.
No, I'm asking him to bet for one. Like literally take a bet.
Oh yeah, he's not a gambling man. He'll fight you for it.
Oh, we'll fight for it then. Yeah, no, I'm down with it. Bare knuckle boxing time.
Okay, yeah. He's already like stripping off his shirt, like he's ready to go.
Let's do this in the pit. Maybe these people want to get some bets in on it. You know, never know.
He just is like,
Get off the shirt and everything.
Like I don't care about that. Let's just do this. Come on.
Yeah, I'll start swinging on him.
Yeah, he's already like stretching his arms out and stuff. That sounds.
I'm cheat. Let's be real. Like he's probably bringing his arm back, stretching behind his back, and I just start wailing on him.
Yeah, and I think he's happy about it. Like he's just like a big smile crosses his face, starts bringing his fist down, and he's like jabbing. This sounds like a skirmish roll.
All right, I'm down with it.
And I think if you're successful here, like he'll give you, because even though you're using skirmish, you still get what you want here because that was the arrangement. So you get your 2 dice. Is anyone else there that could help?
I was gonna say, can you assist in something like this?
Yes.
Again, he's showing me the new place. Like, I'd like to assist. I'm not quite sure. Like, can I just put my own skirmish dice to his?
No. What you do is you take 1 stress, so you can mark it on your stress thing. Those little dagger looking things. You can actually click on just 1, and it will mark 1 stress, which will give him a die. But I do want to know, like, fictionally, how are you helping? There you go.
Okay.
Do you have to have a point in the skill to...
Could it be something
No.
like command, like essentially a cheerleader type situation or an intimidation, in the background kind of thing?
Yeah, like you're.
No! I will totally flash the dude.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
I'm standing behind Jimmy, and then all of a sudden, just shirt up.
Sure, yeah, you can totally
Sucker
do
punch.
it. Yeah, that totally works. So that gives Jimmy the Shiv an additional die. The other thing, Jimmy, you can push yourself for 2 stress, or a Devil's Bargain. I don't know that I have a Devil's Bargain.
I'm passing on both, actually. I feel pretty confident. I said I'm passing on both, just with 3, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Assume we're just rescue.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean you're literally fighting a dude, but it'll be standard effect here.
And I get a single bonus die. A 6.
Nice. So
Yeah.
a 6 is the best possible result. So I think I think what happens is like you start to wail on him as he's like stretching out, and he puts his fists up to get ready, and he's like got a smile on his face. He's like, okay, we're doing this. And right then is where Demonica like lifts up her shirt and shows him the goods. And like for just a moment, like his fists like drop down, like his fists are right in front of his eyes because he's trying to block you from hitting his face. And that gives you exactly the opportunity to just punch him like 2 quick jabs right in the face. And he just like collapses. And I think like Monica, you can kind of hear a couple other people like clapping and whistling at you as like you're pulling your shirt back down.
Yeah, and she'll just give that almost feral, toothy grin.
Yeah, and
like she doesn't care about the modesty at all. It's just like, hey, it's got us what we wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Don't put him away on my account.
And Kristoff is like down, and he's like there's blood starting to pour from his nose, and he looks up, he like wipes it on his forearm, so there's like a big streak of blood, and he looks up at you, and he says to you, Jimmy, he's like, the fuck, man, move out of the way. I want to see them tits. Like,
oh
hey.
Man, no, I'm with you. I reached out and grabbed him by the arm and bring him up so you can get one last look.
Yeah, and like right as you're pulling your shirt down, he's like, oh fuck, and he like looks at you, Jimmy. He's like, well, I mean, fair is fair. I can't really argue that. He's like,
yeah.
What'd you want to know? He's like still wiping the blood, and it's just like, and I think there's probably like a dirt pit or like a sand pit here where you fight. So there's like drops of blood that are just like mixing in with the sand.
Oh yeah. So, well, we need information about it. You know, the Aruvian consulate. To be perfectly honest,
it's like fucking Ruvians, fucking sash. Piece
I know,
of
man.
shit.
No, I get you. I know. And obviously you hate him too. It's good, man. I give him a nice pat on the back. Like, yeah. Channel that anger. Now, we need to take care of someone that's inside. You know.
It's like, yeah, man, don't say anything. It's fine. Like, whatever. I get it.
Oh, yeah. We need to know something about the guards, like where are they coming from? You know, how do they get hired? Maybe we can get someone on the inside.
He's like, well, those Ruvian bastards, man, they're all sashes. They're students from the temple. Like, it's like, you know, they're all Ruvians, man. I mean, they might have some servants and shit in there that you could use. I don't know. I mean, but the guards, that's probably going to be pretty tough. That they know people. He's like, and you can see him thinking, but like his brain's a little scrambled from the hits. It's like, I mean, yeah.
You know anything about how the blue coats get in? Like, they obviously work with them.
He's like,
You've been in there before.
yeah, not really. They don't like blue coats in there, man. It's a consulate. They get kind of shifty about shit like that. He's like, I mean, very rarely an inspector's allowed in, but he said that's only when there's a crime, which is all the time. But still, I mean, that's some dangerous shit you're asking about, man. I hope you know what you're doing.
So they're all red sashes, so if they go disappearing, no one's really going to be missing them too much.
He's like,
I like it.
Fuck, not me. He's like,
I ain't going to miss them either. Monica, you going to miss them?
and like, it's obvious that like Kristoff is looking to see if you're like taking your shirt off again.
Monica just shakes her head, strong silent type.
All right, so we know who they are, what they are. Oh, I guess that's as much as we can get out of you. We'll play later, man. We'll get some ass kicking later. I'll be back later on.
He's like, all right, man. He like pats you on the back, and there's just like blood splatter from like his arms and stuff all over the place now.
Oh man, get you still cleaned up too. Ladies like to show you their tits when you're still clean.
He's like, they show me their tits whenever I pay him, right? They like slaps you on the back.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Oh, I know a new girl that you need to meet. Don't worry.
He's like, bring her around, man. She gonna show her tits. Oh. He's like all excited.
Oh yeah, man. You give her money?
I'm gonna grab
Tits out.
Jimmy by the shoulder and just drag him out, like finger into like the pressure points and drag him out.
Okay.
Hey, I'm just letting her know about Cassandra. She might want the work.
Yeah, and like you can see like as you're dragging him out, Monica, he walks up to a couple of the other guys that are like clapping and cheering in the pit or whatever, and he makes this motion at you like his hands under tits. He's like yeah, like blows a kiss your way. Okay, so you guys leave. You got some information. Excuse me.
So one last effort here, and again, you're gonna have to kind of guide me on this.
Mm-hmm.
He does pit fighting. Monica's more drink scrapper, so she might have run into the blue coats of the guards. I'm wondering if it would be possible that Monica has met a guard that was trying to de-escalate a situation, but she came in as extra muscle, and she could perhaps press him or try and intimidate him, say, hey, look, I helped you out, now help me out, and try and get some more information.
There are, in fact, I don't know if maybe we can work this in a way that helps you here. There are in Crowsfoot specifically, and just about all of the scoundrels in the city know their names. There are 4 blue coat constables, Lewitt, Joy, Mira, and Rafe, who are known to run an extortion racket. They are gamblers, and they can be manipulated. They're basically criminals wearing blue coats. If maybe there's an angle there, because the blue coats generally aren't gonna they like to assert their power, so I don't know if they're gonna let somebody just come in and.
Well, I'm reading the command thing, which is, it gives me a biggest advantage with command. You could try to order people around to persuade them.
Right.
But consorting might be better, but they do say command is an option.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to just walk up to a blue coat and be like, hey, tell me the fuck I want to know. But
that's more risky than I think
it is. I mean, the other option here is I would let you make a fortune roll to see how it starts. So you could make a fortune roll. If it's let's say a 6, then we could come into a scene where a couple blue coats are maybe getting roughed up, and you come in to help them, and I would give you a bonus to that. If you want to do it that way.
Yeah, I'd roll fortune on that. So I just do straight fortune.
Yeah, roll just straight fortune.
And no dice, right?
No, I don't think there's a way to get bonus die on a fortune roll.
Oh!
So you get a 6. Yeah. So as you guys you're in fact, I think you're leaving the pit, and Jimmy's going on about like showing your tits and like Kristoff and all this shit, and I think like you see that there's a couple, maybe like 2 or 3 bluecoats who are being like surrounded by some like really dirty, scummy looking people. And they look destitute, and they're kind of closing in on the bluecoats.
Yeah. So Monica goes, sees the opportunity, I would assume, and capitalizes on it.
Okay. Yeah. So you sort of like, I'm not gonna have you. You don't necessarily need to roll on breaking up those people. Like they see you and Jimmy coming in, it's just like, nope, fuck off. So they just sort of piss off into the shadows. And the bluecoats are like brushing themselves down and trying to fix their coats. But it's obvious that like the dirty people were like picking at him and maybe like fake like stabbing him and stuff. Like clearly the bluecoats look pretty shaken by what just happened. So they see the two of you coming. So yeah, what do you want to do?
Did they notice that like the ruffians looked past them to us before fucking off?
Oh yeah.
So Monica will come up and like arms over their shoulders. Hello, boys.
Yeah, and there's like one of the bluecoats is probably like a 40-year-old man or so, and the other one's like mid-20s, like a woman, and you kind of put your arms around them, and they both look at you like, can I help you?
Seems you had a bit of trouble there that my pal Jimmy and I just scared off for you. I was hoping you could do us something in return. I need information. Now.
And you're trying to command them, I assume?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, so that definitely sounds like a command roll to me. So, Jimmy, you're assisting here? Are you taking a stress?
Oh, yeah. I am.
Okay, so you take 1 stress. So now you have 3 dice. Monica, do you want to push yourself for another die, or maybe talk...
Nope, but I would assume this is controlled, though, not risky at this point.
Because you walked in the way you did, it'll be controlled, and it'll be... I think it'll be great effect, because what that means is you'll get more than maybe what you wanted, because they're scared, and the two of you are standing there looming over them. So I think controlled with great effect. Which is
And
really good
bonus dice is 3. Or
no,
1.
bonus die is 1.
Okay.
Because you get 2
right, because I
dice.
have to. Gotcha.
So you get a 5. So you get what you want, but consequences. I think that the older man kind of looks over at you, and you've got your arms wrapped around him. He kind of pulls away from you, and the young woman is still kind of like under your arm, and she's kind of looking at you in a little bit like odd, maybe, like not quite terrified, but like she's a little impressed, maybe, and
Pull her a little closer to the chest, kind of companionably.
Yeah, and she says, yeah, I mean, we definitely owe you a favor, but like this, I don't know if this is appropriate. But she doesn't seem to be pulling away from you.
We just need a little bit of information about someone at the consulate who's doing things they really shouldn't be and dealing with people they shouldn't be. It's all for your best interest.
Yeah, well, and she kind of like looks at the older guy, and there's like the third blue coat kind of in the back, just like, what the fuck is going on? He's like, yeah, like, well, we gotta get to work. Like, what is it you want here exactly?
And I'll give him the very barest information that there's a contact in there who's working for the wrong side and gonna cause more trouble, I guess. This is why Demonica's the strongest island
Okay,
type.
so like, what is it you're looking for specifically? Like, are you looking for information about the target or the consulate? Like,
the target. Trying to figure out like their position, I guess. Because again, we weren't sure how high up, were they a desk clerk, were they a what? And trying to figure out the security that might be around them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, so I think that what you're told is that the contact is probably like middle management, maybe upper middle management, probably a kind of banker investment type. Security in the consulate is always pretty dense, because the Aruvians are fucking pricks. And yeah, like I think trying to think about what they would tell you.
What to expect, or when security around them is the loosest?
What to expect is a lot of fucking security. And
Hence the follow-up.
security is almost never lax. And so I think if you'd gotten, you know what? Because this was controlled. So why don't we do this? I think the guy in the back, like he's like a short little, young guard, and he kind of steps forward and he like clears his throat and he's like, "Yeah, I know that guy. Like I tried to arrest him one night, but it was like a big thing because the Peruvian consulate, they have like diplomatic immunity, and I tried to arrest him. It was really cool, but like, and then the older guy looks at him like, "Yo, man, like, what the fuck?" It's like, "Oh, right. He's got kind of a he's got kind of a habit. There's a drug den. It's down in the docks, and the Sashes do a lot of stuff there. And I tried to bust in, and I saw the guy there that you're talking about. A lot of Red Sashes down that way, but I mean, he doesn't go often, but like not infrequently. Like just enough to, and like people keep staring at him, like, what the fuck? Like, shut up." And he kind of just like looks at you like a little cowed, and he just like stands back.
And I probably can't do it though. That sounds perfect, love. And I'll go over and I'll like, again, the buddy head around the neck, almost like a headlock, kiss them on the temple, and then just like shove them away and walk off with Jimmy.
Okay. Yeah, and they're all just kind of left like staring at you. I think that's probably, because it's a 4 or 5, because it wasn't a complete success. I think that's going to be a clock for you as well.
Okay.
And we're going to call it pissing off the Bluecoats.
All right.
Good job.
They don't like to be
Harried.
Yeah, I'm thinking 6 segments. Probably just one for now.
Okay.
Okay, is anybody else doing anything to gather intel?
Since, as far as I know, we're going to the consulate, I'm looking for functionally a place that we can just breach the place.
Well, are we still going to go to the consulate? Now we got this information of a secondary possible hit place.
So are we doing this all at the same? That's why my question really comes down to: are we doing this all at the same time? Do we know everything everybody's finding
you guys
out?
can report back to one another. I don't have a problem with
Okay.
that.
All right, then. I'd actually look for a nice little spot on a roof near the docks and that drug den.
Okay. So that sounds like maybe a survey roll, unless you want to argue for something else.
I'd actually go for a hunt just because I'm looking for an ambush spot.
Okay, sure. That makes sense to me, yeah. So it'll be a hunt roll. You can push yourself for 2 stress.
Absolutely. Prep work's always worth it.
Okay, and then can anybody help you there, like fictionally?
Probably
Not
to go
that
with
I
them.
can think of.
Okay. Yeah, so you can push yourself. You take 2 stress, and that gives you an additional die. Yeah, so that'll be 2 die with a bonus die, and I think that it's probably risky with standard effect here. I mean,
Okay.
you're scoping out a Red Sash drug den, and there's going to be security. So yeah, that sounds risky standard to me. So you'll have a total of 3 die. So you got a 4. So you're mixed success. So you're able to scope the place out. It is it's a building that's about, I think, 3 stories, and there is what appears to be a set of steps that goes down below, and you see quite a bit of traffic there. As best you can tell, it seems to be the only point of entry. And you do see members of the Red Sash Temple, some of these bodyguards with their swords, coming and going. And I think that, how long would you say you scoped the place out for?
At least a couple of hours.
Okay. So I think that you probably see a couple of more well-dressed individuals, maybe not quite nobility, but definitely like upper echelon folks coming and going, and they do seem to have like a private guard with them, like maybe 2 or 3 bodyguards or thugs with them as they're going. So there's quite a bit of traffic in and out, and it seems like the sashes are pretty well covering this place.
All right then.
If I can do a follow-up question to that information, does he get the sense that it's less protected than the consulate, though? Just some our general knowledge of.
I mean, I think the thing here is it's a different situation, right? Because it's a drug den. So if people are in there, using drugs, there's security you're definitely seeing. I don't know if it's as well secured, but you're going to run into other problems.
Okay.
I think attacking the drug den would draw less notice, though, because the law can't get involved. We're not, we're sticking to the.
They won't call in the guard where the consulate will.
We have another option too. We can just wait for him to leave and kill him as he leaves.
That's true.
I like the in-transit plan.
But we were told he doesn't go super frequently, so we're either gonna have to keep somebody on the lookout for him, or try and figure out some kind of pattern of arrival.
I could use study to closely analyze a person. I mean, I don't know if how easy it is to visually identify this guy yet if we have a descriptive, but I can also take fine clothes and jewelry as a slide without counting against my load to hang out in the charter hall area and kind of watch over the thing and figure out how often the guy, or I don't know how much time is passing here.
Yeah, I mean, we're just kind of like winging that with regards to the time. Like you have the time to scope it out. I mean, this is the planning phase, so you take the time that you need. I think like probably each one of you can make like a gathering information roll. I don't know if there's a rule against it, but I don't want to bog us down with nothing but gathering information. But yeah, like Conrad, if there's something you want to do to gather information, you absolutely could.
Is Conrad muted?
No, I'm just thinking about how to describe, like.
I mean, in theory, like, well, you do have fine clothes, I guess. But you could hang out at the consulate. That's something you could try to do, or hang out in Charter Hall. You could also try to hang out at the drug den. Like, that's a thing you could probably. I mean, you're Scovelander. You could probably find a way to fit in there.
Actually, yeah, I'll hang out at the drug den. And maybe try and find someone who's willing to gamble information for I'll buy them their next dose or something if I win, and maybe try and use sway to get some information out of somebody.
Okay, so you're gonna try to go to the drug den?
Yeah, about how, and I want to try and figure out how frequently our target comes in.
Okay, so we're probably gonna need a fortune roll to see like what this person might know, because the thing is, like, are you trying to ask a guard, or are you trying to ask like someone who goes there to like use drugs?
I'm trying to ask a regular, someone who seems like they're there a lot.
Okay. Yeah. So
Sorry.
Go ahead.
You said that a lot of people do go in there with their own personal guard. So would it be possible for like Jimmy and I to assist in being his guard, or would you not want that? Edlin?
Yeah, I mean, you could assist because I can dress up like in fine clothes and look like a noble-ish kind of person. So it makes sense that I'd have at least one bodyguard with
It'll
me.
cost you a hit.
Maybe for you.
Good stuff.
So Edlin is going in with Jimmy and Monica as like personal bodyguard. That's the plan.
Sounds like.
Okay. So yeah, you head into this den, and I kind of pictured, if anybody has seen the movie that everyone hates but I don't, is Constantine, where they go down
I
into
love that movie.
yeah, you know, the dive bar with all the like demons and angels and stuff. That's kind of how I see it. Shit, sorry.
Spider?
No, I really don't like bugs.
It was a fly again, wasn't it?
It landed.
Wait.
It landed right on my hand.
Did you really just go for a fly? Come on, man.
Shut up.
That is so
It just-
adorable.
It spooked me, man.
It
I wasn't
is.
expecting it to like literally land on me.
Alright.
So yeah, so the place is kind of loud. There's music going from like some kind of gramophone. There's places of it where it's kind of well lit, but you can see like off into the corners. It's very dark, just covered in shadow. You see some rooms are obviously like meant for a higher clientele, you know, beaded curtains and like kind of like quote unquote table service that they've got going. There's like thick shag carpeting, you know, nice like wooden walls. There's like small electric or maybe even alchemical globes that are strung up along the ceiling to give the place. It almost looks like Christmas lights, and it's pretty loud. And you do see a number of like red sash bodyguards and just thugs of all like make and model throughout this place. And so you're starting to make your way through, and why don't you give me, I'm going to say like a fortune roll to see what the person you find, like who they are, if they're a regular, that kind of thing.
All right. Number of dice,
It's just one. I think.
0, 1, 2. I don't know what. Yeah.
I think it's just one. Because like with fortune, like you can get other dice for major advantages or disadvantages, but I don't see that you guys have like major or, you know, advantages or disadvantages here. Because you've never been in here, you're not really sure what to expect.
All right. I have like looking in a mirror, so I can tell if someone's lying
Right, but that's
about
yeah.
how much they know.
Well, you'll still have to make a roll though, like this.
Oh, okay, that'll be okay.
So why don't you make me a fortune roll? Oh shit!
2 6.
Nice.
He has a 6. Can't crit,
Yeah,
remember?
you can't crit on a fortune roll, I guess, because normally
You
when,
can, but not with 0 dice.
Was it? I don't know what.
normally there is a way to crit in this game if you roll 2 6s, but there's certain, like if you have no dice in the thing you're rolling in, you can't crit.
Well, if it's sway, then I have 2 dice.
Well,
in it.
but you're not rolling
But
sway.
it's fortune.
This
Yeah,
This
okay.
is just for fortune. Are you sure you can't crit roll a fortune roll, Dave?
You can, but he only has 0 dice, so he only has 1 6. He doesn't have that other dice. He has 1 dice. Read it. 0 dice, take the lowest.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yes.
I mean, it
Yeah.
asked me for input. I've been, and I don't know. You said 1. I might have just.
You need a
0,
minimum
but
of
I don't
2
know.
dice
Right.
to
Okay.
crit.
But it's still a 6. So,
Oh, yeah.
which is the aside from the crit, it's the best possible result. So yeah, you I imagine you find a table with like no bodyguards, and there's like maybe 3 to 5. They look like early 20s nobility, like little pricks. Like they're clearly having a good time. There's probably 3 men and 2 women. There's obviously like all 3 men are probably like hitting on the same woman, and the other one is just sitting there trying to get attention. And she's the first one who kind of looks up and notices you as you guys are like wandering through the den. And she just kind of looks up at you and gives you like this like smile. She's obviously like they've obviously all been using. And she kind of just looks up at you, Edlin. What do you want to do?
So, greetings.
It's like,
Do you mind if I take a seat here?
and she's like looking at the other nobles, and they seem to have not like really noticed you yet. She's like, I guess sure. Hi, hi. It's nice to meet you. And she's like obviously a little confused and hazy from whatever they've been using. Yeah, sure. Sit down.
Um, Thank you.
Yeah. Hi.
You are definitely high.
What? Hi. It's nice to. What did you say your name was?
My name is Bartholomew, and I'm looking for someone who could be my friend.
She kind of this smile starts to creep across her face. She's like, I could be your friend, Bartholomew.
That is lovely.
I think she kind of reaches over and like puts a hand on your leg because she's not getting attention elsewhere.
Mhm. So
She's
do you spend a lot of time here?
I mean, I guess so. I mean, if you want to get out of here, though.
Oh no, this is a very enjoyable atmosphere.
I guess so.
And maybe later we can find somewhere more private.
Oh, okay. And like I think
First,
a
I
couple
would-
of the other I think a couple of the other nobles are starting to notice that like you've just sat down and are talking to their friend, but as yet they're not saying anything.
Um, so there's actually someone who frequents this place that I am wondering if perhaps you have met him before.
Oh, sure. I mean, I'm not here all the time, and like I think one of her friends just starts to laugh when she says it. She kind of leans over. She's like, "Shut up." I mean, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here some of the time.
Uh, Excellent, and I'll describe what we know about the target and his name and whatever, and say, "You've seen this man before."
Oh, yeah. I think I know the guy. Like, he's in here. He's really gross. He hits on me all the time. But, like, he's got money. I think he works for some, like, government office. I mean, you're really cute, too, though.
Thank you. You aren't bad on the eyes either.
And she, like, blushes super hard. It's like, yeah. And, like, as you're kind of sitting there, like, some servant type kind of walks up. And she's like, can I get some more, Bartholomew, would you like to share with me?
Um,
And she's like, okay. And she like looks at the servant. She's like, two, please. And the servant kind of nods quietly and like walks off into the darkness. And she looks back at you with this smile. She's like, so what were we talking about?
just the people that visit this place. So, this skis ball that comes here. How frequently does he show up?
Oh, I don't know. What day is it?
It is Friday.
And she's
don't know
like,
what
it can't be Friday. What? What were we talking about? I mean, right, yeah, that guy, like the creepy guy. Well, hold on. Actually, I think my friend hooked up with him. And like when she says that, like the other guys like suddenly like jerk back, and there's the other female that they're all like paying attention to, and she's got this blush, and she's like, Serene, shut up. Like I don't hook up with every guy. She's like, no, honey, it's fine. This guy's a friend. This is Bartholomew. Everybody, this is Bartholomew. And like the guys are now staring over, like, what the fuck? And Serene, who you've been talking to, looks at her friend. She's like, Kendra, just like that guy, that creepy guy who, like, you hooked up with him, remember? And like all the guys now are starting to back up, like, what guy now? And Kendra's like, what guy? Like when? He's like, oh, I don't know, like a couple days ago. He's kind of like balding on top and like that Aruvian guy. And and now like the other nobles at the table are like trying to like physically shift away from her. Um, And Kendra's like, what? Like, just, we'll talk about this later. And Serene kind of looks back at you, and she's like, well, she'll tell us later. I mean, the servant will be coming back. Just wait a minute. And like, while this is happening, Jimmy and Monica, like, what are you guys doing?
If the boys are now distracted from the other girl, like, I could see Demonica trying to keep at least some of the boys distracted.
So she lifts up her shirt.
Not quite. But,
We're not stopping you.
shut up. But, like, she'll cross her arms, not over her chest, but, like, under it, and, like, stand with the hip cocked. The loose pants probably hanging off one hip slightly. Just to keep their attention away from interrupting Edlin.
Okay. I wonder if there's a role for that.
A roll for boobage.
Well, yeah, like
Sway, maybe? I mean, I don't have any dice in it, but...
because I feel like you're trying to distract to give your friend an advantage, which is good. Well, actually, no. You know what? Why don't we do this? Because we haven't actually made the roll yet. Edlin, why don't you make your roll here? Are you rolling sway for her?
Yeah, I'm rolling sway.
So roll sway. You automatically get a bonus die from what Monica is doing. And you can push yourself for 2 stress for an additional die, or I can offer you a devil's bargain.
Um,
And I
Is
think I have a good devil's bargain.
what position am I in? Risky, controlled?
I'm thinking risky because you're in an Aruvian drug den, or the Red Sashes drug den anyway. And
Okay.
like, and if this is the place you're hitting, like showing up here is already risky.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think risky, but I do think you're probably at this point. I'm gonna say it's great effect, because you're getting just Monica's distracting the guys, and so if Kendra talks, then you'll get a good amount of information.
So, and I can choose between 2 stress or a devil's bargain. So what's the devil's bargain?
I think the devil's bargain here is that you're going to get noticed by
Brill, or one of Brill's associates.
Was that your rival?
Yeah, that's the guy that.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Because he's a drug dealer. Yeah.
Yeah, so he probably doesn't work here, but he probably supplies
Well,
some of what
he's
this place
got he's
deals.
got eyes here at the very least. So yeah. This will push a clock with Brill for sure. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
All right, I'll take the devil's bargain.
Okay. So are you? You are getting. So that's a total of 4 dice with sway.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
a crit. That is a crit.
Awesome.
Oh my god. Okay. So regardless, Brill's people take note. Like that happens regardless.
Yeah.
But that's a crit. So I think Monica, you are surprisingly distracting. Because you're not really like. I mean, maybe this isn't a fair thing to say. I don't perceive Monica as necessarily like an object of sexual affection. Like that's more Cassandra.
Yeah, but
like,
she's
you're
more than willing to show off the goods because she knows it works.
Yeah, you're a fighter, not a lover. But in this case, you're distracting enough that the young guys, the noble men, are distracted by you. They're surprised by the size of you, and so they're distracted. Kendra is like, you can see she's kind of pissed off now because she's lost all the attention and affection of these guys. So Kendra's just like looks over at you, Edlin.
My dear, why don't you come and join us?
She's like, well, I guess I have to now. Jeez, what the fuck? Like that? Why would you? Serene, and Serene's just like, what? Like, it's totally fine. Like, he's a really nice guy. And she's like trying to like casually wink at Kendra, but Kendra's just not having it. And Kendra kind of like slides over to the other 2 of you. And she's just like, what? Does he want to sleep with him too? He wasn't that good.
No. But
She's like, what? What do you want to know?
Oh, I was wondering, how often does he visit this establishment?
I mean, every couple days, 2, 3 days, I guess. He needs to, blow his load. Didn't take him long to do that either. And Serene like blushes really hard and like looks away from you. And she's like, Kendra. She's like, oh, shut up. Like you're such a child. It's like, I mean, he was
Quick
in here
draw,
like
is he?
he was in here like 2 days ago, so probably tomorrow or the next day, I guess. She's like, you got to be careful around him. Like he gets a little rough. And like I think as as you're kind of having this conversation, one of the servants comes over and he puts down like a glass vial that looks like it has some like smoke starting to like not smoke so much as like fumes that are starting to like billow inside the vial. And Serene kind of looks over at it. She's like, "Oh, thank you. Okay." And she's like, she grabs the vial.
Since he only brought 2, I'll offer Kendra mine.
Yeah, and Kendra just looks at you. She's like, shrugs. Whatever. And Serene is like pulling the thing under her nose, and she pulls the stopper out, and the fumes start to curl around her face, and she like takes this very deep breath. And you notice as this happens, her eyes are basically glazing completely white over. And she just like very casually, like robotically puts the stopper back in the vial and like puts it down on the table. And her head kind of lolls a little and it like falls against the cushion. And Kendra just looks over and like sighs. She's like, she can't handle her powder at all. I mean, I guess thanks, but like anyway, so you want to know about this guy, right? Like Brannon. His name is Brannon.
Brennan, yes.
Brannon Welker. He's a Ruvian prick. Like I said, every couple days he comes in. He likes his spark. He got a little handsy with me the other night. And like she like leans over and she like rolls up one of her sleeves. And you see that there look like almost like slight burn marks from fingers on her arm. She's like, yeah, he got a little handsy. He gets a little crazy with that stuff.
I'll have a scowl past my face and say, "What a pig. To hurt a beautiful flower such as you."
She just laughs, like almost laughs in your face. She's like, yeah, I get it, but he's got money, so you do what you got to do, right? She kind of like smirks a little bit when she says it. And I think when she says it, she probably looks up at you, Monica, rather pointedly. You got to do what you got to do.
And Monica will just give the slight incline of her chin in agreement.
Mm-hmm. And she kind of turns back to you, Edlin. She's like, yeah, so like I said, I mean, I don't know what you're planning, but good luck, I guess. She kind of like reaches over to the vial and starts looking at the stopper and kind of starts tooling with it. And she like looks back at the boys who are just like looking at Monica. And I think they're probably whispering to one another at each point. Like you can probably barely hear them, Edlin, and they're kind of saying like they're talking about Monica, like who's gonna get her, like who's gonna bet her, and how hard they're gonna give it to her. Like it's really graphic. Kendra just kind of looks at you as if to say like, "Are we done here?" and starts reaching for the stopper of the vial.
And I'll just kind of nod my head and
You said her name was Kendra?
Yeah, Kendra, Candra.
Kendra.
Are you taking
Thank you.
notes?
You have been quite a help.
This isn't the only job we're working, probably.
She's
And she understands Monica's base concept.
okay. Yeah, and she kind of looks at you, Edlin, and gives you a smile. She's like, well, best of luck. And she just like swirls the thing, pulls out the stopper, and like takes this incredibly deep breath. And like she gets almost all of it in one go. And she like barely gets the stopper back in before like her whole body like slumps over into like, and it like knocks into one of the boys who's like staring at Monica, and he's like roused from this. He looks over and he like looks back and he starts like nudging his friends like, look, man, she's passed out. Yeah. So that's that scene. I think unless there's something else you want to do.
No, that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, so I think with that information, we're probably going to cut to the job. But why don't we take a break first? Because I have to pee.
Yes.